Welcome to Be Great Today, your weekly inspirational podcast. I am Jonathan Bloom, or as those in World of Warcraft know me, I am the blue-haired gnome, Frasley Sparkspan. This week, I want to take it slow and discuss baby steps. I discussed this in issue 12 of the Awesome Gnome Letter, my weekly World of Warcraft newsletter. You may remember a movie called What About Bob, starring Bill Murray and Richard Dreyfuss. The movie revolves around Murray playing the character Bob Wiley, who is a patient of Dreyfuss, playing the character Dr. Leo Marvin. In the movie, Dr. Marvin gets Bob to do things using a term called baby steps. Many antics ensue, and it is a fun time. If you haven't seen the movie, I recommend you stop this podcast right now and go watch it. I'll be waiting here. Okay, now that you have watched it, we can continue. If you didn't pause it, watch it as soon as you can. The movie is just a fun journey. If you have seen it, I recommend watching it again. I just picked it up on the new moviesanywhere.com service, which Disney and the movie studios launched, hoping to watch the movie again soon. Well, if you go to that service, they will give you 5 free movies. So it's kind of a fun free service. And again, I'm not sponsored by them. I just thought I'm a geek and I love new services in tech. Anyway, back to the podcast after my geeking out session on movies. I'm a nerd. I started a new college course called Foundations in Personal Finance by Dave Ramsey. In the first chapter, Ramsey mentions baby steps, simple things you can do to start changing your finances around. He even references the movie while discussing his baby steps to finance. This got me thinking about how baby steps can relate to personal growth. Many obstacles look daunting, sometimes to the point of paralyzing us from moving forward. I have experienced this in my own life. There are projects I wanted to start, but sitting there thinking through everything that needs to get done can make my head swarm. Sometimes you need to create short-term victories, have a long-term goal that you put away, but focus on the short-term steps to get to it. There is an author who wrote the final chapter of their novel series 7 years before releasing the first book. Can you guess who the author is? That author is J.K. Rowling. She wrote the final chapter of The Deathly Hallows in 1990. Wow, the same year I was born. That is 7 years before the release of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. She knew where she was going, but she focused on the details to get there, until finally she reached the end. Could you imagine how daunting it must have been to begin writing the story of the boy who lived? Baby steps. I've been going to college since 2010. It has been 7 years of slow work, but I have accrued 66 credits towards my degree. I just completed another course a week ago, started a new course this past Wednesday, which I will end on the 6th of December, then I start my next course the next day. It has been a slow process. Sometimes I have stalled because of different circumstances, letting fear get to me, and sometimes a lack of motivation. I cannot believe some days that I am a junior in college heading towards a Bachelor of Arts in Communications. I haven't focused on when I'll end, but just focusing on one course at a time. Baby steps. I have been getting 10,000 steps every day since February 6th of 2016. That has been many days of focusing on getting steps. As of Friday, October 13th, 2017 at 6:41 p.m., I have taken 7,628,974 steps, climbed 9,035 floors, walked 3,575.62 miles, and burned 2,475,860 calories. That is a lot of steps. I didn't focus on the overall number, just focused on each day at a time. Baby steps. I began podcasting every week at the end of June. I had been to podcast conferences, studied up on it, and produced some regular video podcasts back in the end of the early 2000s. I had been wanting to start a podcast for a while. One day, after joking with a few friends who were launching a new monthly podcast series, I decided to start one. Started by getting a name, the domain, recording the first episode, getting hosting, setting a schedule. This turned into a slow process, but now I am producing 3 podcasts each week. You can find my shows, including this one, at weeklyawesome.com. It all started as one step each week. I am continually focusing on the next episode in my lineup, with an overall goal in mind, but not letting the bigger picture scare me off. I would not have expected to be where I am today, but I took the first step. Baby steps. Dancing was one step at a time. Literally. I did not set out to be competing and performing in ballroom dancing. I didn't expect to know all of the dances I do now. I began after being inspired by both my parents and the TV show Malcolm in the Middle, which you should watch if you haven't seen it already. Week after week, I practiced and practiced. One year, I took a baby step and began competing. I took another baby step and began performing in our yearly dance studio showcase. I never would have started if I had thought about the steps to get there, but I am glad I took that first step. Baby steps. I started investing using the Wealthfront and Acorns investing apps. I'm not sponsored by them, but they fit a great example of baby steps. I started with a few dollars in Acorns and a small amount in Wealthfront. Now these accounts have been starting to grow over time. Baby steps. All of these show the amazing simplicity of baby steps. You start small, but as you go on, they build and build on each other. What is a baby step you can take today? What is a large goal you have, and how can you turn it into a bunch of little baby steps? I hope you will join me in taking baby steps towards becoming the greatest person you can be. Don't be afraid to step into the shallow end of the pool, taking baby steps to wade deeper in, learning how to tread water, getting better at it, taking that first dog paddle around the pool, training up until you are swimming in greatness, being the amazing and awesome person you can be. Thank you for tuning in this week to Be Great Today. I am Jonathan Bloom, or as you may also know me in World of Warcraft, Frasley Sparkspan. You can find this episode at b-great.today/7. Email me your thoughts at podcast@b-great.today. If you found this helpful, please share it with your friends. You never know what steps it will take to help make someone's day great. Take a baby step this week. Have an awesome week, and I will talk with you again next Sunday.